Hi, this is Aaron for BandLab, and in this video we're going to see how you can make your track sound bigger and better using layering, processing, and resampling techniques in BandLab's free online DAW. You can open this project yourself with the link in the video description, and if you find this guide useful, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be the first to know when new videos drop. Generally, the goal of popular music is to create an emotional response in the listener, and having the right production can really enhance the emotional impact of a piece of music. Put simply, if your tracks sound good, the overall result will be much more enjoyable for the audience. Let's take the example of a very simple disco house groove idea. Here's how it sounds before we work on the production aspect. Now here's how it sounds after we've taken the time to make it sound as good as possible. It's the same musical idea using essentially the same sounds, but the layered and processed version delivers a much stronger impact. Let's see how this was achieved. The original version is based around a 909 kick beat comprised of kicks, open hats, and claps. Without any additions, this sounds crisp and clean, but that's not really what we're going for. In BandLab, it's easy to layer up drum sounds by copying the drum's MIDI pattern to a new track and selecting a different kit. I want a dirty New York house style feel, so I'll pick the abstract hip-hop kit. I'd like to make this sound a little dirtier, so in the effects section, I add a distortion BL driver effect, turning the tone up to maximum possible, turning the drive down slightly to 1.4, and setting the volume to 3.8. I also want to make this textural beat layer sound more upfront, so I add a dynamics BL 1176. This layer is much too loud now, so I turned down the output level on the compressor to negative 9.8 dB. When working on beats, it can sometimes help to freeze the tracks to ensure their timing is rock solid. To freeze a track, right-click it and select Freeze Track. I'll do this for both tracks. Next, I'd like to process both of these tracks together. To do this, I'm going to export them as a single audio file. This is achieved by selecting File, Download, Mix Down As. I select the 16-bit WAV file option for the export format to avoid lossy compression and import the exported audio back into the project by dragging it in. Now I can mute the original tracks. To bring up the average level of the resampled beat, I add a Dynamics TechLab BA2A compressor. I set the peak reduction to 74 and the gain to 77. This gives it a loud, solid, and pumping feel. For the bass line, I'm using Classic Disco Bass 2 from the BandLab sample library. Unprocessed, this is certainly a funky bass line, but it doesn't have that low-end weight I want for a modern dance track. Thankfully, we can use one of BandLab's specialized effects processors to make it more bass-heavy. I add the modulation dual octaver effect to the bass track. I begin by turning down all the level knobs. Turning them up individually, we can hear that the octave 1 level and octave 2 level add re-synthesized bass layers 1 and 2 octaves below the original pitch, respectively. Octave 2 is a little low, so I set octave 1 to full and turn down the tone knob to 0 to get a smooth feel. I dial in some of the dry signal to keep that funky flavor, setting the dry level to 5. Now that we've got our processed elements, we can adjust their track volumes to mix them. I'm going to turn up the bass track a little. Finally, let's compare the original and processed versions again. To my ears, the processed version sounds much fuller, more characteristic, and ultimately more danceable. Remember, you can fork this project and make your own version of it using the link in the video description. Have fun!